My ex disappeared in the middle of the night. 6 months later, he started replying to my texts, but the person texting me wasn't him. The first time I realized something was wrong with Adam was the night he vanished. We'd been fighting for weeks. Not the explosive kind of fights couples post about online, the quiet kind. The kind where every sentence feels like walking barefoot on glass. He'd stopped eating dinner with me, started locking his phone, staying up until 3 a.m. with his headphones in. When I asked what he was listening to, he'd just say, noise, and smile that half smile that didn't reach his eyes anymore. The night he disappeared, it was raining. Hard. I woke up around 2:17 a.m. I remember the exact time because the sound of the rain hitting the windows had a rhythm to it, almost like tapping. When I reached over, his side of the bed was cold. At first I thought he was just in the bathroom, but when I got up, the apartment was silent. The front door was open. His keys were gone. His shoes were still by the mat, and his phone was on the kitchen counter. Screen cracked, battery dead, and a single unread message on the lock screen. Unknown. Number, do you hear it yet? I remember saying his name out loud like that would make him appear, but the apartment just echoed. The police said it was voluntary disappearance. Men in their 30s walk away sometimes, the detective said, not looking me in the eye. Stress, burnout, they leave to start over. But Adam wasn't that kind of man. He was the kind who paid rent early, who folded receipts in half, who sent birthday cards to coworkers he didn't even like. He didn't walk away. I filed the missing person report anyway. Days turned into weeks. They found nothing. His credit card stopped being used. His car was parked 3 blocks away from our apartment. Doors unlocked, no signs of a struggle. No fingerprints except his. It was like he'd stepped out of his skin and dissolved into the rain. I kept his phone though. I couldn't make myself turn it over to the police. It was the last piece of him I had left. One night, about 3 months after he vanished, I plugged it into the charger. I didn't expect it to turn on. It had been waterlogged, maybe ruined, but after a few seconds, the screen flickered to life. Same cracked wallpaper, same background photo, me and him at the lake, same unread message, unknown number. Do you hear it yet? I stared at it, chills running down my spine. It was like the phone had been waiting. When I unlocked it, everything was normal. Same apps, same photos, same playlists, except his call log was gone. Every number, deleted. I checked his texts. Most were there, but the last conversation, the one from the night he left, wasn't, except for one message I'd never seen before, from me. Sent at 2:16 a.m., 1 minute before I woke up. Me, yes, it's getting louder. I dropped the phone, literally threw it onto the couch. I hadn't sent that text. I was asleep, and even if I had, who was I answering? The next morning, I told myself it was some glitch, maybe an unsent draft, or an old message that resurfaced. But when I checked again, the timestamp had changed. It now read, delivered 2:16 a.m., read 2:17 a.m. Someone had seen it. Over the next few weeks, small things started happening in the apartment. The lights would flicker exactly once every night at 2:17 a.m. My phone alarm would go off at 2:17 a.m., even though I never said it, and sometimes when I was in the shower, I'd hear tapping from the pipes. Steady, rhythmic, 3 knocks at a time. Tap, 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 pause, tap, tap, tap. I told myself it was old plumbing. I told myself I was sleep deprived. Then one night, I woke to the sound of typing. From the kitchen, Adam's laptop was open. I hadn't touched it since the week he left. The screen glowed faintly. A document was open, blank except for one line that kept repeating itself, letter by letter. Do you hear it yet? I froze. The typing stopped mid-word, then the full story on my channel, link below.